committee in order. Chuck, would you call the roll? Yes.
Fabian?
Yeah.
James Carlin? Yes. Justin Gimbel? Darrell Holt? Yes. Paul Ritter? Here. Peter here. Okay, before we get to the minutes, read our last month's minutes. We have a potential addendum to them. You see that addendum information? We do. Today, so if I need to address addendum information first, I did look through it. It does look accurate to me. So this is the, remember, it was making Basso saying we needed some more information in it. She provided the minutes with the markings of where the information should go, and in the back end she provided the language which should be inserted in those particular spots. And let's see, and then check the language right here.
Move to correct the minute.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the minutes. These additions. Any questions, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Okay, motion passed. We're going to back up now to approve the agenda. We're on a short schedule tonight so that we can have a hearing at 6:30.
I will not speak as a result of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a quick look at the agenda.
My hand was not on the button.
How many millions of dollars is in there?
Have a quick look at the any corrections or additions to the agenda? Motion by Holt, second.
Give it to me.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. First item of business is the ETSB report. We have Mr. Ingalls here to do that report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last month, I did the annual report as required by ordinance, and so what I did, I prepared a report to come to the committee, and unless there's some objection, this will be the format that I'll use month in and month out. Be brief. The statistical data that the ETSB board gets is pages and pages and pages of volume. Number of calls, 17 agencies, response times, I mean, it goes on and on. I'm not going to bore you with that. If you want it, let me know via email. I can give it to you. We get it every month. On the other hand, if you have particular questions about the operations, please send an email and I'll provide that data to you. But I won't do it on a regular basis again. It gets pretty lengthy. What I will do is give you a monthly update on the capital project that's ongoing. First of all, Intrado, which is the phone system that's closely coupled with the radio system, was installed last month. The shakeout period was about 2 days. People were fully trained, it's put in place with virtually no issues, and is fully operational and in use. The radio system, which is provided by Motorola, it's known as Starcom 21. All the wiring in the dispatch center is installed. Training equipment has been installed in the lower level so we can take people away from the routine jobs and they can be trained. Supreme, who is the subcontractor from Motorola doing the installation, is scheduled to start installing equipment in the actual dispatch center in the various consoles this week. The completion of the whole radio system being installed, shook out, and operational tentatively is scheduled for mid-May, which is per our schedule. The CAD system, articulated dispatch, which is probably the most extensive and the most sophisticated, and quite frankly is going to take the longer turnover training and everything. Spillman was actually in today. We invited all of the emergency responding agencies in, and they're starting what they refer to as their configuration phase. It's really tailoring the system to our local needs so that XYZ is now Pontiac Police Department. ABC is Dwight EMS. In other words, all the naming conventions, the way we operate, the one that sticks out most for me, a lot of police and fire and emergency service agencies use what are called 10 codes. If you're a TV fan, you know what 10-4 means. Some time ago, we went to what's called plain talk. In other words, instead of 10-4, you say, they say goodbye. I don't know. But there's a 10 code for burglary in process. Well, today we use plain talk, burglary in process, so that everybody fully understands. It's configuring all of those things within the CAD system so that everybody's on the same page and it meets our local needs. That started today and it'll be ongoing over the next few weeks. And then when the time comes, implementation and training will take place. The one thing I didn't put on the report, because it's a little premature, but I will tell you, next week I will be making a presentation to ETSB, because the one thing that's kind of outside of the scope of this is our paging system for our EMS and our rural fires, all of our fire departments. They will not be using Starcom radio systems when we first start up for a variety of reasons, and we still need a good paging solution. Right now we have 7 towers throughout the county, and we believe there is a solution where we can have fewer towers, more reliability on the towers we retain, and we are going to put out an RFP to at least 2 vendors, if there's others we don't know about, to ask them to come back and tell us the best solution for paging for our EMS and fire departments. Bottom line is we'd like to eliminate some towers, and we think that can be done, but we want people to tell us that have the technical knowledge how to do that and what it takes to do it, because a part of this capital project, we want to have the best, most efficient from a cost perspective paging system. So we're going to, or I'm going to ask the board to put those RFPs out. And so that's where we're at today. Operationally, things are working fine. We're working through minor issues, but we're already seeing, for a better word, an improved attitude among our telecommunicators. They see the advantages of moving forward and getting rid of some 20-year-old technology and getting into the 21st century. Questions?
So where do you want these?
My question about
Yeah.
budgeting for next year.
I've asked a couple of the board members that have good financial backgrounds and will work with John, and not only budgeting for next year, which is going to be a little bit awkward because some of the stuff's not implemented and we're going to have some duplication of costs and things next year. But what we're going to do is work on a 5-year plan so that we can see some of the costs that we're eliminating drop off, some of the costs we're incurring coming on. Our end goal is try to delay as long as possible any kind of increases to our users. To that matter, we just sent out invoices in the intergovernmental agreements with the 17 agencies that we provide services for. There is a provision for an annual increase, and it's tied to the language that has to do with what we all live under, tax caps. And as I remember, it's 0.8%. We are, by intergovernmental agreement with all these 17 agencies, we're entitled to execute that, and we send out invoices with that very minimal increase. And I think it's the board's intent, if I'm reading between the lines, to do that on an annual basis, so we don't have to wait 10, 12, 15 years and say, gee whiz, we need 10, 15, 20%. So yeah, my gut feel, excuse the expression, we may be able to delay significant increases for at least 2 or 3 years. And hopefully beyond that, with some of the things that we're putting in place, are going to eliminate some of the costs we've been incurring.
Okay, on your way out to dinner, would you check on an open mic? There's obviously an open mic out that room. Oh,
So we can hear.
yes.
Is the community center, how is it going budget-wise? Is it under, at, or above?
We're right, we're tracking very close to budget, yeah. I mean, we've got some expenses we incur early in the year, which, you know, today looks like we're over budget, but, no, we're actually, I think we'll come in under budget. Unless we have a disaster. With some of the old equipment things, we have that exposure.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
You bet. Thank you.
We're down to 2B, other considerations pertaining to the review of the proposed wind energy project special use, and that would include announcing future hearing dates. What do you got, Chuck?
Outside of tonight's meeting, our only announced meeting will be
We did, yeah, we
Thursday,
checked on
July
each of those.
6:30 at Walton Center in February.
Actually, no.
Hopefully in the meantime, we'll discuss future meetings beyond that, so stay tuned for future meetings beyond that. So
13th right now is not scheduled.
it's on a tentative calendar, but it's never been confirmed by the zoning board.
You think tonight they'll come up with some
I
more
sure
dates?
hope so, yes.
Okay.
That's intent.
Anything else regarding that?
No.
Solid waste report.
You have my written synopsis in front of you. It's generally what you've seen in the past. There's no real surprises there.
Where this
Just
one,
want to take a few minutes to read through it. I'll go ahead and do that. Answer any questions you may have. Just let you know, we will do our split sample of water wells later this spring, probably in May. I believe we do those first part of May. Gary Deegan Associates, the ones that arranged to do that, so we're doing the split samples both at Pontiac and at Streeter. And also part of you have the sets of the host fees that we received for the previous month, which are down a little bit because of the winter, but they're fairly comparable to a year ago, so there's not a significant difference in the host fees for the tonnage coming in at that point in time.
Chuck, on March 19th and March 25th, you had Streeter and at Livingston County,
Yeah.
it appears that we had exceedance level in sulfates. What does that cause by?
The 25th, the Livingston County, the one that's just it's a private water well. It just because you get sulfur in the water well in that area. I mean, it's not an unusual situation there. The sulfate and the Streeter one, and well G102, they had the parameter set as to where those issues are supposed to be coming in. And that's the only thing that came up high in that, and they're redoing the fourth quarter one or confirming that. And it was came in at 850 milligrams per liter, and it's supposed to be 727.9, so it's not a huge difference in that. And it is a man-made element, it's a natural occurring element, so it's not a huge issue. So it didn't exceed.
Any questions about the solid waste report? Okay, we're gonna move on then to continuation of the process of reviewing the county's wind energy ordinance. We're not gonna actually do anything with that, I don't think, until these hearings are over. Hopefully they'll get these things done this month, so that next up we can move forward. Anybody want to comment on continuing the process for updating the ordinance?
Just before we get too far along, we realize we have a moratorium issue. We can address the moratorium issue starting in May and have enough time to address it with the county board in July. So we realize there's a time limit on that. We also realize we have another month to address that and move forward with if we need to extend it. So we realize it's there, so we can do that.
It'll be on our agenda for the May meeting. Kind of think about that. I think my thinking is we would extend it perhaps for 3 months and hopefully get the job done in the late summer.
We definitely don't want it to run out, you know, where we have an overlap. This one's got to start as the old one ends.
Right.
So we need,
We probably need to go 6 months like that.
it's a little risky, I think. Yeah. I think we can go 3 months with no
A
problem.
lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, but I think 3 months we can go with no problem. I think 6 months we get into some legal issues.
When do we need to,
We need to start the process next month in the May meeting.
Does it have to go through the ZBA again?
But if you do that, I mean, if you say you want to do it, we can do legal notice in May, ZBA in June, county board act done in July.
It just seems like you're cutting it awfully close. I mean, I don't see why we shouldn't do it now. Then we have an extra month.
Can I have your attention, please? Anybody that is parked over here on the west side parking lot, there is reserved for electioneers that are bringing ballots from the polling places. There were cones set out, and it's just been brought to our attention that all the places have been taken up. Anybody parking on the west side of the building over here, will you please move your vehicle?
Did you run out of the cone?
Especially you, Mr. Blakeman.
Oh, they cut them out.
Yeah.
After you park there?
I know that cuts it pretty close, but we give these people time, we can get it on our agenda, and we can get it done. We can pass it in May and get it to the board in July.
I think, did you hear everything that's said at these hearings?
We heard that.
We heard it.
We heard
Did
that.
you? Yeah. Okay. Loud and clear.
Can I get my parking validated? How can we,
You've got 2 flat tires now, you better get moving.
Is this
valet?
So I think you're right in.
Yeah, give me your keys, I'll-
Nothing says how often we meet.
Right. Once we get the hearings out of the way, we can meet multiple times, or meet for a Saturday, whatever.
Well, extra expense and time.
Everybody else, and
The only issue I did hand out you a copy, which is a resolution from the Board of Trustees of Indian Grove Township to Lindsay County. It's in regards to the Indian Grove Township, working with their Indian Grove Planning Commission, which they're recommending some special setbacks for rich towers within the township. I'm just recommending that we roll this into the review of all of the addresses as part of the review of all of the ordinances, because that's what pertains to, quite honestly, setback distances pertains to that, so. We have a copy of it, and so we plan on addressing it. Mr. Brucker is the attorney for the township, he is here this evening. If you have any more direct questions of it from him, he's here.
he is an attorney, we'd like to be out of here at 6:30. Do you want to speak to it at all? You shook his head no.
Yeah,
Let the record show.
okay, I'll say no. The reason the Indian Grove Township adopted this was because they have some serious concerns about some of the setbacks. You guys already heard a lot of the arguments about the setbacks already, noise, et cetera, and everything. We wanna move these back further because we don't think what you have in place now is the best. And also, we did this because we really want to feel that the landowner should have some negotiations ability as far as what goes on, especially the adjacent landowners who are not having the towers on their land. These towers are way too close, in my opinion, and some of the other, certainly on the board's opinion as well. So that's part of the resolution.
Okay, thank you. So we'll take this up as part of our other projects here.
No issues, no bills.
No bills to pay. Public comment. We still have about 4 minutes. Anyone? Marty, I thought you were gonna.
Nope.
Anybody else?
What,
Go ahead.
What was the, Bob, I think you said something about a legal issue to go out to 6 months. What would be the legal issue for that on a moratorium?
I think there's been some discussion, and we're not sure that you can just extend for that length of time. 3 months, I don't think there's any problem with. You get out to 6 months, and it gets to be kind of a,
You have to have a reason to extend it out, so if you extend out to 6 months just for the fact that you're doing it for 6 months, doesn't, if you get it done in 3, why do you extend it out to 6? So,
But doesn't it take about 3 months to get it extended?
Why would you?
it could take a couple of months. Once we get into here, this is gonna go faster than you think, once we get into the discussion on this, I think.
But if you extend it to 6 months and you got it done in 3 months, then it's not that big a deal, right?
when you ask for the extension, I think it's a big deal
It's a bigger
if
deal
you go
if got the
6 months.
extension, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
3 months, there's no big deal. We can do it.
When the ZBA discussed it, they recommended 6 or 12, they finally said on 6, because they figured 12 would be good, but it kind of split, so they settled on 6, so I don't see what the problem is going with 6 more now.
Okay, hearing no additional comment, entertain a motion to, I'm sorry, did I interrupt you?
I said, you know, it just seemed like you ignored these guys. You ignored them.
Who?
Their comments. You just said, well, okay, let's move on.
We took all their comments under advisement.
Okay.
And we commented on them.
I guess we could shake our heads too. We're gonna take this all under advisement. We're gonna get it on the agenda for next month, for an action item here. Sorry. Now, are there any other comments? Thank you. Motion to adjourn, second by Paul Ritter. All those in favor? Aye.